for joining me today in this topic of credit report and credit score, which is in our series of demystifying the mortgage process of buying a house. So, people always talk about the importance of having a good credit, having good credit. And let's say you have great credit, but you haven't had credit for a long time. Let's say it's not really an age thing. I wanted to say you know fresh out of high school, so you really don't have much credit. But let's say you have a credit card or two, and you always paid the bill. You ain't never been late. And let's say you have a really high credit score too. Say an 800 FICO score, which is credit score. And much I also believe that they increase the credit scores. I don't follow all that new stuff now, but before they increased the score or whatever the high score was, 800 was a high score. So under the notion that 800 is still a high credit score, let's say you have an 800 credit score, and you ready to buy a house, and you go to try to buy a house, and you know your credit's good, and then you have the loan officer tell you that, hey, you have really good credit, but unfortunately we're unable to help you because you don't have a long enough established credit history. And so now you're devastated because you've been told have a good credit, pay all your bills on time. You don't have a lot of bills, you don't want a lot of bills, but now you're told that you don't have established credit history. So now you're confused, like, what's going on? So what happens is two things that let's say lenders look at when you're purchasing a home. First thing, of course, is your credit history, different trade lines. So we're going to cover what is a trade line. We're going to cover that in another topic within this series. But they look at different trade lines, such as credit cards, if you have an auto loan, any other things you have reporting on your credit report. And they look at how long you've had them. I don't know the lender's requirements because it varies by lender, but I'm going to say I think it's a minimum of at least 2 months, 2 years that they like to see certain, let's say 3 different trade lines. And it's a big criteria that they break down on a trade line. So I don't really remember the entire criteria. However, I will cover what can you do to make sure you have enough trade lines, established credit history under the section trade lines. We're going to cover that and explain that. So that you know, good credit isn't good enough. You have to have an established credit history. In order to have that, you have to have the certain number of trade lines, and I'm going to cover that more in depth. So thank you for checking out this topic of credit report and credit score. Please check out the other topics that we have in this series of demystifying the mortgage process.